I'll demonstrate designing dialog flows using a sample skill that has a greeting and order pizza intent. The Visual Flow Designer is on the left side of your skill development, but is only available in skills created with Visual Dialog mode. The entry point to designing a conversation is the main flow. The guiding principle is that events trigger flows. We have events for intents, unresolved intents, dialog flow errors, and more. This allows us to create modular flows that are called for certain events. By default, we can see that the unresolved intent event is mapped to a flow with the same name. By pressing the Add Flow button, we create a new flow to manage the greeting intent dialog. We give a name and select the intent that maps to this flow. This means that the flow will be called whenever we have a greeting intent. This is the canvas where we can design the dialog. We can add states by clicking on the default start state and selecting Add State. We have a wide variety of state templates that helps us define each step in the dialog. For the greeting intent, we only need to send a message, which is the simplest state, and we can use it to define a message from the assistant to the user. On the right side, we have the properties for the send message state. Each state will have its own set of properties. This one only requires an output message. Let's test this by clicking on Preview in the top right corner. After typing hi, the greeting intent event is triggered, which then calls our newly created flow. We can see the assistant response, and on the right side of the canvas, we have the conversation path, which visually describes what just happened. Now let's create another dialog flow, this time for the order pizza intent. This intent has a composite bag entity with some bag items that need to be resolved. Again, we start with adding a new flow, giving it a name, and selecting the desired intent. We add a send message state to acknowledge the ordering of the pizza. These are the same steps as we did in the greeting flow. Then, we can use the Resolve Composite Bag template. As you can see, there are different properties here. We need to create a variable that points to the composite bag entity. We can do that straight from this screen, where we define the variable name and select the entity that is mapped to. Once we do that, immediately all the prompts from the entity are displayed here. We can finish the conversation by using a closing message. These are the main principles when designing dialog flows. You have a wide variety of templates that help you quickly create a flow. Now is the time to test everything. We pick up where we left off before and try to order a pizza now. After the acknowledge message, the Resolve Composite Bag starts, and all of this logic is handled in one single state. Again, the visual conversation canvas helps in following the dialog path. And in just a few minutes, we have an up and running dialog.